this God indeed is too good. Our Father is such a good Father. Extremely good Father. He's an excellent Father. And this morning, we are also privileged to find ourselves whether alive or otherwise, that you are in Him and this Father is in you. He's a good God. He's a good God. I'm always excited when I get opportunity to talk about Jesus, who he is, and what he has done. Once again, welcome family for connecting this morning. We're going to be sharing together truth that I believe is going to be of a blessing to you and also to me. Thank God for technology and thank God for live broadcasts and live everything, and we thank God. We thank God. We thank God. Wow. God is good. 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 Last week there were a few questions. Yes, I can say because about 3 or 4, 5 of them. So we can say questions, even though it was asked by one person, but we can say questions. I personally like it that way, that when we share, when we speak, one is able to think about it and of course ask questions about that which we say. And so I'm happy that the questions are asked and that we are going to be looking into them or ask the question. Let me check my thing on. Hallelujah. Is it better? Okay. So, first of all, we will look into the questions and look at the answers, some of them that we've tried to bring to our awareness, and then we will continue on from there. Last week, I said, probably we're going to look into this for 2 weeks, but then studying and looking at things, I said to I feel we will carry on a bit, especially Matthew 24, where it appears that everything in there sometimes is scary, and you're not even sure if your salvation is secured and that you are truly in him and also is in you. And when people read Matthew 24, Luke 22, Luke 23, it feels that we are not sure, and the Bible says it is in there that pray that the coming of it appears, that the coming of Christ is not in the winter, or pray that by the time he comes you are not pregnant. And so it's like it's going to be this heavy, difficult, impossible to handle situation when you read Matthew 24, and you don't read it in the context of what Christ has already done. So next week, maybe 2 Sundays or so, I'll see how it goes. I'll try and then come your way again, specifically with this Matthew 24 and how it feels or it appears to be playing out, that you are not sure and it's scary and someone's going to be left behind. There's a film by this man, Left Behind. It was a big thing, and all that. So that some of you watch some of these films portrayed by some of these men and women based on Matthew 24 and a few other ones. You say to yourself, you're not even sure whether you're going to be caught up in him or you're going to be left behind. Honey, nobody is going to be left behind. I'm not saying this because, oh, it's okay. No. We will prove it to you biblically. If someone is going to be left behind, then God did a very poor job. Oh, Pastor, but God has done his bit. The rest is over us. You don't understand. We will talk about that when we get into that next week, and also the weeks. I mean, maybe we got to see how it goes. Today is also the 19th year ever since my wife and I got married. I remember very well. I think it was a weekday. Actually, it was a weekday. 2001, 26th of April, in Kumasi, Ghana, where I traveled from here to Kumasi to go and ask of a hand, and lovingly my in-laws, who I adore and respect big time up until now, give their daughter to me to marry, and the journey has been awesome. It's been amazing. I said on our Saturday program, the Chief said, that I think sometime next month or in June, the whole month we take it. I mean, we talk about marriage, our journey, and things we've learned, and things probably that we feel we can share with you. That maybe it's gonna be of a blessing to you. So either May or June, at least in June, maybe June, we will come your way again. That month is gonna be purely marriage for maybe 4 or 5 weeks, and then take from there. So congratulations to my wife and to myself. 19 years, it's been awesome. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. So we thank God for Jesus, and we thank God for what He has done. Thank you all, family, and every one of you that indeed has been of a blessing to us one way or the other. We are so grateful. So thank you once again. Thank you to the team and to all of you that are watching, that make these things happen. We are forever grateful. Now, last week, the question that came, please let the questions flow. What we do is that we take them. We may not be able to answer them because I'm not facing the camera. So we go back and then we make sure any question that is asked, no question to me is stupid. We will answer them to the best of our ability as we all study and learn together. So the questions, a few questions were asked. I'm just going to touch on them and then go to the continuation of that where we left off last week. Okay. So the questions were: what is an eschatology that is Christ-centered? And the second question was: does it mean Christ will not come again? Third question was: or that the world wouldn't come to an end? Does it mean that the world will not come to an end? That people who rejected the gospel wouldn't be condemned. Okay. From what I said, somebody asked these questions. That from what you are saying, what is eschatology that is Christ-centered? Are you trying to say that Christ will not come again? Maybe a point that I made there, I think. Or that the world wouldn't come to an end at some point. Are we going to live on forever and ever? Or that people who rejected the gospel wouldn't be condemned. Now, before that, I think I was doing this analogy where I was saying you can't always pick a picture and just make a doctrine out of it. For example, I said if you see, some people say that snake is a figure of the devil and demons and all that. But then we saw last week through our study that when the people of Israel, it's recorded that when in the wilderness they were being bitten by snake and all that because of something they had done or not done. God asked Moses to erect a brazen altar, which was a snake. So anybody who looked at the brazen altar of this snake that Moses had erected, God delivered. God saved. Yes. So we said one way snakes were serving as what? Figure of deliverance and healing and salvation. And also in another vein, we are told the devil in the garden sometimes portrayed as snake and things like that. And as I said, even as if that wasn't enough, when Jesus was speaking in John chapter number 3, he made reference to himself that as Moses lifted the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of God must also be lifted up. See the connection? So we said we can't always make doctrines out of some of these things. And we said figures, numbers. In fact, I didn't say this last week. Numbers. In the number 3 means God. Number 3 is God's number. The number 7 means completion. The number 6 is a number of man and all that. I don't have any problem with that. But my point is we can't make doctrine out of numbers, out of letters, out of figures, out of images, out of you can't. Animals and you make mistake. And so it's very important. So I think from there, the brother asked the question regarding, I said something about lion of the tribe of Judah. The reference, I think he was asking for references, is Revelation chapter number 5 verse 5. Revelation chapter number 5 verse 5. Let's have a look at it. Bear with me, please. As this, okay. There we go. Yes, it can be dangerous to make doctrine out of these things. Remember, Peter as a Jew, when he had in his mind concluded that any four-footed animal was demonic, was evil, was unclean, and God trying to knock something out of his head. What did God do? Why didn't God bring some dove or some beautiful, sweet, scented animal, but something that Peter thought was evil and was bad? God said to Peter, "Don't call that which are clean unclean." Was God trying to give a message more than what to Peter, more than what probably sometimes we read? Maybe yes. Okay, so Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Let's have a look, and then we will continue from there. Okay. He says, "And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, have prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof." And so we see here, and of course when you read the whole chapter, you know he was making reference to Jesus. Yeah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Now let's go to 1 Peter chapter number 1. 1 Peter 1. I'm sorry, First Peter 5:8 rather, no 1. 1 Peter 5:8. So 5:5 of Revelation, we see Christ is referred to as a lion, yeah, of the tribe of Judah. And then you come to 1 Peter 5:8, we see here, it says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." You see the connection? Another vein, one place Christ is referred to as a lion of the tribe of Judah. And another place we are told this devil guy is roaming about like a lion. And so if you build a doctrine to say, if you see a lion in the Bible, it means strength and it means Jesus, you could be mistaken. Are you with me? So it is very, very important. So Revelation chapter 5 verse 5 and also 1 Peter 5 verse number 8. So it's very, very important now. So what did we say regarding interpretation? We said, and I'm going to read it as I wrote it, so bear with me also. Thank you, Holy Spirit. The topic that we looked at and we're still looking at and we continue to look at in maybe 2 Sundays down the road is Christ complete or fulfills all human expectations. So look unto Jesus, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. Let me read the point that I said regarding interpretation, and then it will take few scriptures as we build on today. Thank you for connecting. Thank you. Okay, so this is what I wrote. Okay, let me read the first one and I'll read the second one. I said, dreams, symbols, images, pictures, practice. I didn't say this last week, but I'm adding it today. Numbers or figures and their interpretations of the message they carry can be context specific. Can be content and also context specific. Let me say it again. Dreams, symbols, images, pictures, practice, numbers, figures, and their interpretations or the message they carry can be context and content specific. In other words, it could be for a particular place at a particular time. So you can't build this mega massive doctrine and say if you see this it always means that. It could be mistaken. I told you of this interpretation of dream that I gave when I was invited to this place, and the objects that were on the table, as far as this person's dream was concerned, were cat and also dog. The person was, pulling their dog, and the dog in the dream turned to a cat. And so, what did that mean? The person, of course, wanted to know. And so, if I had said, okay, cats in the Bible means this. Dog in the Bible means that. So let me add 1 and 2 together. If I had done that, I could have just made mess of things. But my understanding of the nature and the character of God has taught me that when it comes to these things, God is not static. He can use any occasion. He can use anything and everything to communicate truth to us. So it's very important. You see, why am I, why somebody say, well, Pastor, why are you being busy yourself about this? It is because when it comes to teachings on the end times, because sometimes people read the likes of maybe Matthew 24, Luke 22, Luke 23, Daniel, Revelations, and they see these figures and objects and that they build doctrine out of them, guess what? It's dangerous, it can even be deadly, because you don't then say that is God. If you see a dog, it means this. No, he's God. He can choose to communicate to us in a language that we understand. I was talking to somebody the other day, and the person said, if you're a prophet, and you go to a place, and then maybe you see a vision, God shows you a vision for somebody, and the vision, you saw maybe a farm of maybe chicken or whatever, farm, yeah, maybe goats or sheep farm, and then you saw that maybe all the goats in the vision, and maybe you saw a man and you saw goats around the man or sheep or whatever animal for that matter, and then you saw the animals just all of a sudden they died, and then you said to the person, oh, I see that something in your life. Your prosperity or your blessings are dying around you and all that. Now, to one, maybe 2 people. Say to one person, maybe one of these persons could be a farmer, and this person has animal farm, and this other person doesn't have any farm, and so maybe these persons are the one that has farm. Maybe there's coming a sickness or something of that nature is coming to hit the farm or something. It could be anything. And so if you build a doctrine to say, anytime I see the death of animals around a person, it always means this, you've not been able to help them. You wouldn't be able to help people as much as you are meant to. So it is very important. It's all this end time thing and the figures and the images that the lives of Daniel, the lives of John used and all that. It's very important we don't build, this dogmatic and stiff, static doctrine around these things. It can be dangerous. And I see people have written books about, dreams and interpretations. Please don't buy them. You can't say that. Pastor, everybody has got their life. They can do what they want. Of course you do. Do what, of course, But my admonition to you, my advice to you is dangerous ground to tread. Because these figures and these images and these numbers and these colors and these whatever thing they are, do not always mean that. It's not even biblical. We've proven, I will prove it to you. One time, lion is Jesus, Savior, lover, you name them. Another time, lion is devil. So if you put a doctrine around that, you don't think you're going to mess people's mind. That is why it's very important that Christ is the consummation of every figure, every object, every image, every whatever. Christ is the one that everything rests on. So with Christ in the inside of you, you've arrived. And so interpret everything through the lens of what Christ has done and not any other way. So we said dreams, symbols, image, pictures, practices, figures, and the interpretations of messages can be context specific. And again, we also said number 2, we said dreams, symbols, images, colors, numbers, figures are never meant to be static in the interpretation and meaning. I think I've said it earlier. And then I said this means that with an open mind and love, ask each time you see or come across these things for the right interpretation. So that is that for the first question. Yeah? Wow. And then the next question was, what is an eschatology that is Christ-centered? In other words, what is the end-time teaching that is Christ-centered? Simple. It's a whole teaching. I've said it. I said it. I'll be saying it this afternoon. But this is what it is. Anytime you are reading the book of Revelations or talking about the end time, please don't put aside what the finished work of Jesus has graciously delivered to humanity. Let me say it again. Anytime you are interpreting or talking about the end time, please don't set aside the benefit, the blessings, the goodness of what the finished work of Jesus has delivered graciously to humanity. In other words, what is the finished work of Jesus? The birth, the death, the burial, and the resurrection. Anytime. So if you take something like, okay, so what that means is that as I'm talking about, Christ is coming, or he's coming for his church, and all that, I have to tell myself, what does it mean? It begins that this Christ, who died as us and rose in victory to translate us from the power of darkness into his marvelous light, he has forever delivered us from every guilt, shame, and you name them. And so, we are already in him. And so if you even talk about he's going to come again, no big deal. He's coming again for what? We said it yesterday on our set, that if he's coming again, yes, he's coming again, not if. He's coming again with us, because we are already in him. And so, this big rapture thing, please don't be afraid. If anybody tells you that somebody is going to be left behind because, when Christ comes, if the person is not in church, or when Christ comes, if the person is not living this and all that, no, it means the person has made redundant or has made foolish the finished work of Jesus. Jesus said, the Son, he said, I did not send my Son, the Father speaking in John 3, to go to the world and condemn the world. The Son of Man did not come to condemn the world. The Son of Man did not come to kill the world. But the Son of Man came to do what? To save the world. Yeah? So it is very important that God has never had destruction or damnation or condemnation on his mind. Never. Not when even we not when even we felt we were sinners. Are you with me? So it is very, 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 very important that as we teach or preach or sit under teachings on end time, you make sure that the finished work of Christ plays through the teaching of eschatology filters through what Christ has done. So when I say eschatology and Christ-centeredness, it means Christ-centeredness means all that Christ has done, all that Christ has made us, and the true picture that has given to us, you make sure every teaching on end time filters through that, or look at it through the prism or the lens of that. That is what I mean, in summary. I can go on for a whole message, but in summary, that is what I mean. And the next thing was, does it mean Christ will not come again? I guess we answered this yesterday on our set, but I'm just going to touch on the answer is yes, he'll come again. But the good news is that he's coming not just for me, but he's coming with me or with us, because at the moment we are in him and he also in us. That's beautiful. And so, like I said last week, when this whole rapture thing, if anybody tells you, I know where they're picking it from. I said next week or two we'll talk about it. First Thessalonians, where obviously we're caught in the air. And sometimes you see, again, when these numbers and figures are used to be caught in the air, and so somebody did a film about Left Behind. Please, if you believe that Christ has saved us, Christ has done all these things, but it is not enough, what then you are saying is that the work that the Father has done is not complete. And so Christ has to probably come and die again. And by that thinking about that conclusion, you are insulting the intelligence of the riches of God's grace and what God has done. Now remember in the book of Galatians, Paul says something. He says, I do not set aside or frustrate the grace of God. For if righteousness comes through do's and don'ts, then the death of Christ was nonsense. I repeat, Paul said, I did not set aside or frustrate. Galatians chapter 2, 20, 21, thereabout. So I did not set aside. Anytime a person talks to you about eschatology or about end time, and they're saying to you, well, some can be left behind and some will be caught up, the person is setting aside the grace of God. The person is setting aside what Christ has given to us. And Paul said, I did not do that. I did not set aside the grace of God. I did not set aside with the finished work of God. I did not set aside all that God through the Son has done. For if salvation or righteousness or going to heaven or whatever the word is by what we do, then the death was in vain. Then the death was other versions says foolishness or nonsense and all that. So it's very important, people of God, as we all study, as you all learn, we kind of be conscious or aware and hold fast to this truth of the finished work of Jesus as we carry on. Okay, so quickly let me just run through. And the person saying that, or that the world, that the world wouldn't come to an end at some point. Whether how do I say this? Whether the world comes to an end or not, the good news is that the beginning and the end of it all lives in me. And so when the world ends in how we thought the world is going to end, how we've been taught, maybe one day this whole thing will rule, and then some new heaven and new whatever, and this new Jerusalem and all the rest of it, good, excellent, good. Whether it ends or it doesn't end, nothing to be afraid of. You are secured. Are you with me? So I'll leave that point as it is. Would the world come to an end? What does it even mean for what does it mean that the world is coming to an end? I know what people have taught is that there'll be one day where this whole thing will just come to an end. Let me say this. I am investigating that. Yeah. So I won't say anything. I won't say much about that. I'm still looking into it myself. So if you asked me maybe 10 years ago, I would have said to you, oh yes, but today I said to you, I'm looking into this world coming to an end thing. Yes, that's my position now. Okay. The next is people would people who rejected the gospel wouldn't be condemned. In other words, so what will happen to those who would reject the gospel? Wouldn't they be condemned? Would they also be accepted? Would they also go to heaven and others? I think that is the line. When you read John chapter number 3, verse 18, let's start from John 3:16. Yeah, okay? John 3:16 to 18. Thank you, Holy Spirit. John 3. I hope you are with me with what I've been saying so far. Okay. John 3:16. How we doing? Doing good? Am I talking okay? Slow? Good. Okay. Okay, John 3:16. Okay. It says, I read, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved." 18 says, "He that believes on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he had not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God." And Saturday on our tree program, we're going to deal with this whole faith and belief thing. What does it mean to believe in God? Is it means to work some magic, or to just God, I believe in you. I believe. I mean, how does it look like? How does it feel? What is it? And so on Saturday we go much into it. That is this whole faith and also belief thing. So I won't even comment on that much. Now, what you just read, Jesus said, the Bible says, "For God loved the world, and that God did not send his Son to the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him." So, number one, we are reading here that condemning, God does not condemn. Yep. If anything, he does the opposite. But Pastor, it goes, even when you go on to read 18 says, "He that believe on him is not condemned, but he that believe not in him is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son." Yeah, it's true. What I've just read to you is true. Do you know what it means? When you are reading these things with the lens of God is hard and harsh, with the lens of God is wicked, or God is good, but he's not all that good, because sometimes it can be this and it can be that. Then you're gonna see condemnation as God condemning. You're gonna see things like vengeance is God bringing the vengeance. Let me just help us. He that believe not on him is condemned already. This is what it means. Simple. When one is walking in guilt, in shame, in poverty, in fear, in all these emotional garbage, because they don't know who they are and whose they are, the one word that you can describe that person with, the person feels what? Help me somebody if you are listening to me. The person feels what? Condemned. And so he's saying, he that has not realized who he is and what the Father has given to the person, you see, it's not Christ who's in the condemnation. The person that is feeling guilty, feeling dirty, feeling ashamed, feeling remorse, feeling all those things, it's already born. That is what it means. And so it is not God who condemns. It is a person that is walking about thinking, "Oh, I'm good for nothing." The person is walking in condemnation. He's walking in judge. He's already judged himself. Pastor, don't worry your head. I know I'm not. I've been told since I was a child that I'm stupid, I am dumb, I'm good for nothing. And so the person is walking in guilt and shame, and the person has already concluded. He judged himself, not God. So please, that is what it means. God doesn't condemn, but we human beings condemn ourselves, conclude on ourselves that we are bad, we are evil, and not that. So that's what he says. He said that he does not believe is already condemned. So next time, my evangelist brother or sister, don't go and tell people that if you don't believe in Jesus, you are condemned already, and he has come to condemn you. He doesn't condemn anybody. If anything, he came to save. He came to restore. He came to give hope. He came to help us to find our true identity in who we are as human beings. Are you with me? So yes, I don't have to, I hope I'm clear enough. Now I've written this, and I'll just say those ones also. I hope I'm clear enough. Yeah, so please, Mr. Evangelist, don't go to letting people feel condemned. They already feel condemned, yeah? They already feel condemned. Let me just make this point, and then we will carry on then as we. Okay. In Luke 9:56, it says, the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. Can you see that? The Son of Man did not come. First one we said, the Son of Man did not come to condemn. And the second one we are saying, the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's life. This was when, this was when the disciple of Jesus was saying, let's call down fire from heaven, as Elijah did, to come and destroy these people because they've mocked you, they have resisted you. See, the Son of Man did not come to destroy human lives. I love that. The Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. So those of us that hold this view, my sister, my brother watching me, that one day, those that will not believe in Jesus, you take all of them to hell. Please, go back to a drawing table and revise your notes. Can I say it again? People are already going to hell in the way they think, without acknowledging who they truly are in Christ. That is hellish enough. Yeah? Anyway, we're not going there. But I just want you to go and revise your notes on this hell and heaven thing. It's very important. Because as far as I know, the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives. And those who don't believe, those that have not believed in him are already condemned. I guess I've said so much about this, so there's no need for me to, go back to it again. So that is what it is with the questions that we had. So let me just quickly end on this. Remember, we are talking about Christ who completes or fulfills all human expectations. He fulfills all that. So please, it's very, very important, as you do biblical interpretation regarding the end time, you hold these thoughts and you hold these truths to your chest as you do these things. Now, oh, Holy Spirit, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. La 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 la. Okay, I've said this before, but let me say it again. I said, the most important thing to remember is this. You said so much, haven't you? Please listen to the tape from last week, and then, of course, this is a continuation of what we said last week. We said, interpretation is of the Lord. What does it mean? As we are saying, with open-mindedness and love in your heart, ask the Holy Spirit for a noun meaning or interpretation of figures, dreams, and the like. Let me say it again. Most important thing to remember is this. Interpretation is of the Lord. What does it mean? It means with open-mindedness and love in your heart. Because sometimes, let me say this. Some of the people that tell some of us that God is angry at North Korea or China or Russia because they themselves are angry at these people. When this COVID thing came, you can see Christians lambasting and lambashing, and it's like China can go to hell because they are so bad. I don't want to get into all this kind of political whatever that is, but can I say this? In every nation, wrong things are perpetrated or whatever thing it is by these nations. So please don't let the media demonize or demonize any nation for you. Okay, it's very important. Otherwise, you can be so like a person who is meant to be a teacher, a preacher, a lover, and all that. You can have this anger and hatred in your heart towards a nation because some media house have lied to you. If you've been around a bit in the Christian circles, maybe some of you know the word the Gog and Magog. I think Ezekiel 38. I think, and it means some of the nations that fall into that: Russia, North Korea, China, and some of those nations. And what did they say about these people? They are already condemned. They are already judged because they are against one nation or two nations, or they are against certain nations. One time I was listening to a prophecy. It wasn't a prophecy anyway, and the man was saying, God says He's going to judge. He mentioned some. He's going to judge. His anger is against this and this nation because that and that nation don't like this nation. Do you understand? His anger, God's anger, is against a nation A, B, C, because nation A, B, C, don't like nation D. So God says His anger is against them. And say, ilala, ilala, ilala. Oh my word! So a person like this, you know what has happened to him? He's allowed either the media or his own personal biases to inform his theology, and so he starts to prophesy in the name of God. God didn't tell him that. It's not correct. It's unscriptural. That's for the nation of God. But this is what I'm saying. But somebody can come to me and post scriptures and defend their anger. That's what I'm saying to you. Every teachings on the end times must be done or looked at through the lenses of the finished work of Jesus. And when that is complete, because it says that in Him all things are complete. And also it said that He has given every person, every nation to Him. So God doesn't love nation A and hate nation B. We may not like this person or the other person or this nation. No, come on, if you don't like it, well, that's okay. But don't bring into prophecy. I beg. Or don't attach God to it. It casts very bad and wrong and dark image as far as that God is concerned. Well, He's fine. But the onlookers think if God is for A and hate B, I don't want to know that God. And it's not nice, it's not good. So now we wonder why we're preaching our heads off. But we don't want to, I'm not religious. And we want to blame them. Please, the love is already in your heart. The Bible says the love of God is shed abroad in the heart. So you don't have that problem. Let's express it. Okay, don't allow anybody, any nation, any president, any prime minister, any leader, nobody, no religious affiliation to make a fool out of you. And you begin to talk nonsense and rubbish because, Republican or charismatic or what. Please don't do it. Think. Think. They don't like them, and so they will preach their dislike and put quotation to it. I don't want to say certain things. It's all right, I hope I'm making my point. I hope you're getting me. It's very important. When I hear Christians talking about China and Russia, I say, brother, keep your mouth closed and be open-minded about these things. The women of us know how to read Chinese. You don't. Have you ever read Chinese newspaper before? No. Have you ever read Russian newspaper before? No. How do you hear about Russia? Through your media houses. How do you hear about Chinese? Through your media houses. How do you hear about Iran? Through your media houses. Am I right about this? Please, case in point, let's all be careful. If some nation can destroy all of us, then God is very wicked, Papa. If somebody can wake up and come and wipe all of us out. Yes, men have tried in the past, but thanks be to God. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and all that dwell therein. If they are cooking these things, you can cook in your head that I can also, in the redemptive power of God that is at work in me, I can galvanize my body so that even if they throw arsenals and they throw these things, to not be able to bear me. It's possible. Let's think these thoughts rather than looking who is against us and who is doing what, and you're weakening your immune system by such thinking and such approach. I'm telling you, brother. Oh, yeah. I would rather want to know my strength much more than knowing the strength of the enemy, if there is one. I don't need it. I need to know who I am and how potent I am and how powerful I am, so that when anything is thrown at me, bounces off. A man had barriers killing everybody on him. This man didn't die. Let's concentrate on redemptive acts. Let's concentrate on redemptive cosmic redemption. Let this man be. Bible says, if there be anything to think about, think on these things. That's what you need to think about. I've said to people that after the COVID thing is over, my thing is the lies that you're going to be told that the economy is dead. This dead, the so-called dead economy, millionaires, billionaires will rise out. Not that the money is coming from heaven, the money that he says is no more there. Somebody will have billions in your account. Let's think and let's free our minds to think positively and engage this faculty to embrace good stuff. Sure. We have said that life is sweet, the world is sweet. Don't sit by there. We have said the life is getting bad. It's sweet because that is so. So please don't give yourself to these things here and this and that. I hope you get my point. So let's be wrapping up. It's very important, yeah. I said I can go on and on and on and on. Yeah. So with open mind, the most important thing is this: interpretations of the Lord with open-mindedness and love in your heart. Ask the Holy Spirit for, and now meaning or interpretation of figures, dreams, and the like. I remember the first time I went to Russia and I came back. Somebody, a pastor friend of mine, said to me, "Why did you go?" I said, "I went to Russia." "Ah, what for?" "What did you go to do?" I said, "I went there to preach in the churches." "Oh, don't you know the prophecy?" I said, "What prophecy?" "Gog and Magog." I laughed. Anyway, it's okay. I guess you get my point. Please, I've said enough. It's all right. So let's go and think hard about it. I've written here, it can be very dangerous, if not ungodly, to build a consumable doctrine that rigidly assigns uncompromising meanings to every spiritual vision or experience, including figures and objects, colors, numbers, in the written word called Bible. Let me say it again. I'm saying it can be very dangerous, if not ungodly, to build a consumable doctrine. It can be very dangerous, if not ungodly, to build a consumable doctrine that rigidly assigns uncompromising meanings to every spiritual vision or experience, including figures, objects, colors, numbers, you name them, even in the written word, the Bible. Yeah, can be very dangerous. Now let's move on. Note this. Every form of interpretation must be Christ-centered. I think I've talked about Christ-centeredness a lot up there. So, in other words, every form of interpretation must revolve around the finished work of Jesus. Let me say it again. I said every form of interpretation must be Christ-centered. In other words, every form of interpretation must revolve around the finished work of Jesus. That is his death, burial, and resurrection. It's all about him. Yeah, it's all about him. Jesus, I've written here also, please take note. Jesus is the end time prophecy fulfilled. I love it. So look no further. When you read 1 Peter chapter number 1 verse 9 to 13, you realize that Jesus is the end time prophecy fulfilled. Because of time, I'll just leave it this way. I will take my time, honestly, unless I'll take my time. I want to read 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 9 to 13, but time will not permit me, but please just make that note. I'll take it off from there. If I have to stay here for 2 months, I'll do so, because it's very important for us to get the picture, so that we walk about with joy, hope in our heart, not like we are not sure, fear this and that. No. Jesus is the end time prophecy fulfilled. So look no further. Revelation chapter number 19 verse 10, Bible says, Jesus, the spirit of prophecy, hold on. The testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So one of my favorite body just left my head. The testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Yeah, the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. The testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So, and what's the testimony of Jesus? The gospel. And what's the gospel? Good news. And what is the good news? We that had our head messed up, Daddy has come to reveal our true identity to us, and Jesus has come to reveal the nature and the character of the Father to us. So it's very important, people of God. Luke chapter 9, let me just read this last quotation, and then we'll bring the meeting to a close. It's very important. Let me just end it. Next week, I'll continue from here. Luke chapter number 9, that's my last one, and then we go. I hope you've learned something and something has been given to you to go and ponder over. I personally like it this when people go home and think about things that are said. I really like it that way. So if something is said that you kind of not sure about, again, like the brother did, please ask questions, and when we come back, we will do well too. And also be reminded that these tapes are posted on YouTube. Good News, Simply Good News, that's the name. So when you get there, you'll be able to watch them again and again. Okay, so let me read Luke 9:51. And it came to pass, when the time was come that he should be received up, he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem, and sent messengers before his face. And they went and entered into the village of the Samaritans to make ready for him. And they did not receive him, because his face was as though he would go to Jerusalem. And when his disciples, James and John, saw this, they said, Lord, wilt thou that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Elias did? They make a reference to, I think, 1 Kings 17. Elijah called down from fire, and then called down fire from, and then he consumed the prophet of Baal and all that. But he turned and rebuked them and said, you know not what manner of spirit you have. For the Son of Man is not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. And they went to another village. Yeah? I said that the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Case in point, here they got it. The prophets of old, as we go on this study, you see so many things of how Elijah saw God, how Jeremiah saw God, and for that matter, communicated to us who they thought God was and who they thought God is, and all the rest of it. And so here they were. Somebody has resisted them, stood in their way, and remember, they knew that the master was a man of influence and power. And so it's like, if you're a spiritual person, you've got the power, use it on this guy. Let them know that you did. Call fire from above to just destroy them. And so that in some of our contests, you hear people say that, I'm a man of God. If you resist me or if you do anything silly, I'll curse you. I'll cause you to die. Because I'm a man of God. I'm anointed of God. My anointing destroy people's lives. My brother, please, the man in whose name we are preaching, he said it so categorically that he did not come to destroy people's lives. He came to build. He came to save. So if you are going to destroy, please destroy in your own name. Don't use God's name, because God is not about to do those nonsense at all. Yeah? So please, let's all learn. And he said, hey, what are you guys talking about? The Bible says he rebuked them and asked them, you know not, I made this statement, you know not what manner of spirit you are made of. Now here, he wasn't telling them they had a demon spirit. He was saying to them, you have the spirit of God and you don't even know it. And so you want to apply yourself to this nonsense? Don't do it. Because the spirit in you is not a bad spirit. It's God's spirit. Some people think that because they didn't have the spirit of God. No, they have the spirit of God. 1 Peter chapter number 1, talking about even the prophets of old. He said, there's a word that he used there, I love you so much. He says, and the spirit of Christ in them. Next week we have a look at it. He said, and the spirit of Christ in them. enable them to be able to see these things. I'm adding those ones. But then there's another that says, and the Spirit of Christ in them. Are you with me? And so here Christ was not telling them you have demon spirit. You know, say you have the Spirit of God in you, and you don't even know. And boy, don't people have the Spirit of God in us and still? I'm telling you honestly that you and I have the Spirit of God in us. So let's be conscious of that and use it positively. The Son of Man did not come to the world to destroy the world, but to save them. So you want me to hate that nation? To hate, pray against this nation? That they are coming will fall, and you know, God will judge them? No. Please, let's sit back and do some analysis. Some of these nations that you want them dead. You want them to be annihilated, to be extinguished from the face of the earth. These are the ones that are... Please, I'm not saying, you know, everything nations do are right to. That's what I'm saying. I mean, people do silly things, I know that. But we all do. Every nation does silly things. It's as simple as that. So let's not demonize anybody. That's my point. That's what I hate. Because it's not correct. God doesn't like it. Yeah? He said the Son of Man did not come to destroy human's life. God, you know, have mercy on us. This nation is your people, God. And so any nation that hates this nation, God destroy them. As you know, waste of time and resources. Stop it. You pray for God to destroy some lives and some nations, and God will continue to prosper them. Because remember, He created them in His image and also in His likeness. And so His desire for them is that they will also walk in the light that has already revealed Himself. They say light is a person, yeah? That has already revealed Himself in them. That's what God desires. If even your child is whatever, that's what it is. Eh? If your child is bad or your family member is bad, it's your family member. Yeah. So please, let's think along those lines. The Son of Man did not come. So no prophecy is meant to destroy. No prophecy is meant to kill. No prophecy is meant to place one over the other. No prophecy. It's not. I call it non-prophecy. It's not. Let's pray that this nation stop it. So as you read the scriptures, please make sure and it doesn't matter where. The testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. The Son of Man not come to destroy human lives, but to build, to save, and to restore. We thank God for Jesus. We'll end here, and then next week we'll continue, from where we left off. Please join in, connect, get others to join in. Like I said, we'll put this in on YouTube. You can listen to it again and again as you all enjoy the goodness of Jesus together. He's your Father. He's my Father. He's our Father. He loves us so deeply and so richly. Don't condemn yourself, because there's no condemnation in the ranks of our Father. What if you've gotten it wrong and you've done wrong? Don't go there hanging your head in the shame. Ask yourself, remind yourself of who you are. No, this is who I am. Don't remind yourself of the sin that you've committed or the wrong that you've done. Remind yourself rather of your identity. That's what empowers. People think, some of us just don't talk about sin, or we just have people to do wrong stuff. We know it's been proven scientifically, philosophically, psychologically, you name them, that when you speak to the potential of people, when you speak to the greatness in people, it eradicates the ills, the misfortunes, the limitations, the fear, and all these things that are working in a person's life. But when you highlight the person's wrongdoing, you paralyze them, you demoralize them, you just destroy them. It's as simple. So church, let's speak to people's, God speaks to our potential. He speaks to our potential. I remember that day, the guy said, Gideon was threshing wheat at a wine press. For fear of the Midianites. Angel of God went. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm so disappointed in you, and you call yourself a man of God." No. He says, "You mighty man of valor." This guy was ready with fear, but God spoke to his potential. Remember in the book of, I think, Isaiah, he said, "Don't say that I am a child. I know who lives inside of you." Moses, I don't talk. God says, "Listen, I am in you. So you and I, we can take these men and women from this place to the other place." And so God speaks to our potential. He speaks to our capabilities and our abilities. So that is why good news heals Like powerful than medicine. Are you with me? So please, pastor, teacher, prophet, speak to the potential, the strength of your people. Even if it's 1% and 90% is rubbish, 1% is correct. Speak to the 1%. I'm saying if. I know it's more than that, of course, And as you speak to 1%, it will take care. It will overpower the weaknesses. It's been proven. Left, right, center. By Christ himself, by the Father himself, scientifically, emotionally, philosophically, psychologically, it's been proven all over. That good news heals. Good news builds up. Good news does better good more than even medicine. Are you with me? We thank God for Jesus and we thank God for all of our lives. Father, I want to thank you and bless your name for today. It is you alone, Daddy, be all the glory and all the praise for what you've given to us. We are forever, Lord, grateful. Thank you. Thank you. In your light, we have seen light and you continue to see light. The earth is yours and the fullness thereof. May all of us continue to see humanity for who they are. They are human beings. So that we run away from categorizing, putting people in the balls, this and that, but then see human beings for who they are as sons and daughters of the living God. Daddy, we thank you. Now, as we've shared this morning, people will go back and as you speak to them and speak to all of us in a way that we understand, we'll be able to enjoy this, to enjoy that which you've given to us. We are forever grateful for your blessings. Thank you, Lord, that the nations of this earth have risen up to your consciousness of your love, your grace, and your power. For you did not come to condemn, you did not come to destroy. You are never party to any distraction. Thank you, Lord. The church and all of us for that matter will be able to know this truth. So I'll be able to be the source of hope and source of inspiration, be able to be the solution centers as you've already made us. That we are forever grateful for healings and restorations. In Jesus' name. Amen. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the rest of the week. And I will come your way again on Saturday morning between the hours of 8 and 9. That's the tree version, Ghana and one of the Ghanaian languages. And also on Sunday, same time, same place. Will come your way and share, continue with this end time teachings and the place of Christ and this whole end time thing as you go on. So enjoy. Shalom. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I hope you were blessed by today's video. To watch more like these, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Simply Good News, where you can watch both our English and Tree services.